Hi everyone, and welcome to Finding and Staying Current on a Research Topic. My name is Amanda Bezet. I am a reference and instruction librarian here at NCU. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly if you do have any questions. You can reach me at abezet@ncu.edu. So A for Amanda, B-E-Z-E-T at ncu.edu. To begin, we're going to navigate to the section in the library that corresponds to today's topic. So I'm going to go to the Research Help drop-down menu and click on the Research Process Guide. The Research Process Guide is, of course, a very huge guide on the research process, but the part that corresponds to today's content is this section called Finding a Research Topic. So we are going to go through some of these techniques for finding a research topic. Many of these also pertain to staying current with a research topic. Another section that pertains to staying current is here under finding similar resources. We have a guide here that is called Database Alerts and RSS Feeds. So setting up database alerts is going to be one of our techniques for staying current as well. Again, if you have any questions about where to find any of this content, please don't hesitate to reach out to the library. So I'm going to navigate back to the library's homepage, but often when we are just beginning that research process and beginning to formulate our research topic, we're actually going to start outside of the library's website because the library is primarily there to provide you with that scholarly research, mostly consisting of scholarly journal articles. So all that recent scholarly content is what the library is providing, along with some books and videos, etc. But as we're formulating that topic, sometimes it works to our advantage to go outside of the library and start with something like regular old Google. Now, when we go to Google, we know right off the bat that it is going to be overwhelming. We've all used Google. It is overwhelming. We get tons and tons of results. But we can use some steps here to help us to better understand what research topics may be available pertaining to our interests. So as we're thinking about a Google search, start thinking about additional terms that you can add along with your topic keywords. So you can add words like trending news, trending topics, trends, recent research, controversial issues, policy debates. I often like to add in the year or the previous year, especially if we're only newly into a new year. I like to add the year to those Google searches as well to try to get more recent content. So just as an example, let's say we are starting out very broadly with the topic of educational technology. We're really not sure what we are interested in as it relates to educational technology, but let's just try educational technology trends 2022. We can always modify that to include the previous year as well if we're not really finding a lot here. So here are Google results. Of course, we have 1.3 million results here. A lot of this is going to be commercial content, not necessarily content that you are going to be citing in your academic research. That's okay, because at this point in time, we're not worried about that. All we're worried about is getting our topic idea. So we're not going to be citing these websites unless we use them directly in our research, okay? If we're just using it for our ideas, you don't need to cite that. So here we see things like 5 ed tech trends to look out for in 2022. And this is coming from Forbes magazine. So a commercial magazine, a popular source. Again, we're not necessarily citing it, but it might be a good website to take a look at. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop into that website. So here we see 5 EdTech trends to look for. It's written by a contributor here. You see the author's name. We don't know if he's an expert on this or not. That's okay. We're just getting our ideas here. Let me wait for this advertisement to close up. It's not loading all the way. Okay, there we go. So we'll scroll down. We see personalized learning is one of those trends. We see with these commercial websites a lot of pop-ups. Closing a gap, a learning gap seems, or a digital gap. So we might want to look further into that topic. Focusing on the teacher-student relationship, blended or hybrid learning. It's not going away, especially with COVID-19. Gamification is one of those trends. And I think we might have jumped to a different article. Gamification, that was the end of that article. So it gave us a few major trends to look out for. So maybe that gives us the idea, well, I think I am interested in blended learning as it relates to educational technology. Jot down any ideas that you have. Do not edit these ideas. Just get them down so that you can go back and better formulate your ideas later on once you've sort of surveyed what might be out there. So again, use those terms, those words as you're searching in Google. In our case, we did educational technology trends 2022. Again, you can use trending news, trending topics, trends, recent research, controversial issues, policy debates. You can tack that year onto that search. These sorts of things are going to hopefully highlight what is going on currently in the field and how you might use that for your dissertation research topic. This is a search that you can periodically run or put a calendar notice for you to do that, to take a look back and see what is going on in terms of recent research. We're going to stay outside of the library for our next technique, and that is to use Google Alerts. So that website is just www.google.com/alerts, or if you just Googled the word alert, this should be your first hit. So Google Alerts allows you to get emails when new results for a topic show up in a Google search. So if we're sticking with educational technology, we could type that in. As I'm typing, you'll see that some results are showing on the bottom of the screen. This is your alert preview. So if things look right and you're getting some hits that look like they might be of interest to you, then go ahead and create your alert. So all you'll do is add your email address here. You can show options here to choose how often you would like to receive those emails. So I'm going to say I would like it just once a week, but you can choose as it happens or once a day. Your sources, I do recommend leaving as automatic, so you will scan all available sources from the web. You can choose language. Keep in mind that with the language, it's just going to change the alert language. So when linking out to those actual sources online, that doesn't mean that they will be in an alternate language. The region you can choose, I recommend using any region, and then you can choose all results or only the best results. And then you can create your alerts, and you will then receive, you will be prompted to log in to your Google account. Okay. So let me do that now. And then you will see that you can then create the alert. So I needed to log into my Google account. Unfortunately, you do need to create a Google account to set these alerts. But now you can see that I do have one alert here for educational technology, and I can delete that if I would like to. So we've stayed outside of the library to first sort of scan the open web to get ideas for our research topic. Now let's go into the library and start using some of the specific tools that we provide in order to help you find or stay current on a research topic. So I will return to the library's website, and I'm going to use the A to Z databases link to link out to our list of all of our databases. The first database I'd like to go into is called Credo Reference. So I'm going to click on the C's and then navigate to Credo Reference. Credo Reference is a reference book, primarily database. It's going to be providing you with entries from encyclopedias, dictionaries, handbooks, etc. In addition to that, there's a tool in Credo Reference called a mind map. This is a visual way to see how articles and topics might relate to one another. So let's go ahead and try our search now for educational technology. And you do see some auto suggestions come up as you're typing, but I'm just going to go ahead with educational technology. This is my results screen. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to see all of those entries from those reputable and reliable sources on the left. But on the right, this is what I wanted to point out as it relates to finding a research topic. Here we see the broad topic of educational technology in the center. I can manipulate this mind map to change what appears on my screen. So I'm going to scroll back up, and let's just say I'm interested in educational technology, but now I'm really interested in distance education, especially in light of the pandemic, or maybe e-learning, or maybe I've decided, I want to focus more so on instructional design. We also see virtual learning environments, learning management systems. So you can click any of these areas. I'll click on instructional design. When I do that, that pops that concept of instructional design into the center of our mind map, and then it changes our results on the left-hand side and also below that mind map. So on the left, again, these are reference book entries, but below the mind map, what this Credo reference database tries to do is pull in articles from elsewhere in the library. So you can certainly scan down here this gray area to view scholarly journal articles related to your topic. However, you don't want to rely on this area for your scholarly journal articles. Really, you want to be using our Roadrunner search in the center of the library's homepage for scholarly journal articles. This is sort of just like an added bonus here in Credo Reference. The real value here is that book content on the left, especially as we're just starting to get familiar with a research topic and explore potential topics. When we talk about scholarly journal articles, that's when you're sort of, more decided on your research topic, and the articles themselves assume a certain level of knowledge with the topic. So reference books are really good in terms of explaining basic concepts related to a topic, the history of the topic, major dates in the timeline, major researchers, defining terms. All of that is better found in a reference book versus a scholarly journal article. But what I really wanted to show was this mind map that you can use to change your results and sort of see how concepts within a larger topic relate to one another. A similar product that we have in our collection is called the Gale Academic One File Topic Finder. So we actually need to click on the G's in order to get to Gale Academic One File. It's the first database listed under our G's. When we click on Gale Academic One File, this is a multidisciplinary database. It allows you to search for scholarly journal articles, magazine articles, newspaper articles, images, and some video content as well. You can do that here within that basic search box. But as we scroll down, sort of tiny at the bottom of the screen, we have a tool here called the Topic Finder. So I'm going to go to the Topic Finder. Within the Topic Finder, you have a dedicated search box. You also have your basic search box to search across the articles at the top, but when you're searching the Topic Finder, you want to use this box. So here, I'm just going to type in my potential topic, which is educational technology. Of course, if you have a more focused topic idea, you can type that in here as well. So I'm going to press search, and you'll see that it's retrieving and analyzing data. This is especially useful to discover the context of your search term and uncover hidden connections to other terms. So as we see right here, we search for educational technology. Among educational technology, we have these sort of tiles that represent the amount of research dedicated to, I guess, a subtopic or an idea related to educational technology. So you can see a big chunk for COVID-19 education, since obviously, that had a big impact on the discipline. You can see littler tiles. This one says computer literacy. This one just says books. So that's kind of vague. You would have to click on it to find out more. This one says distance education. So whatever it is you're interested in, you can click on that to sort of fine tune and zoom into that. Here I see distance education as it relates to COVID-19, coronavirus, machine learning, a lot going on here. So I can stop here, or I can continue to fine tune that topic. And what it's going to do is show results for articles here on the right-hand side of the screen. So this is all well and good, and some of these may not necessarily be scholarly. Some of them may be magazine or news articles, although most of them may be scholarly. You would just have to kind of search through. So you can use it to find those articles, but it's also just valuable kind of navigating through to get topic ideas using this tool on the left. You can also change the view to the wheel version. So I'm going to click on wheel, and that changes the display here. So now our big chunks are here: university, students, new data, learning. And so you can click on any one of these sections to get your results. So I clicked on solutions. That seemed pretty interesting. And now I can see results for solutions here on the right-hand side of the screen. So both the Credo reference tool, the Credo reference mind map, as well as the Gale Academic One File Topic Finder are really kind of nifty tools for navigating the terminology and the ideas associated with one of your broader research interests. So I recommend playing around with each of these, using different terms if you are not decided yet on your research topic, maybe using it to gauge, especially in this case, where it kind of gives you an idea of where more research lies with those larger areas. playing around with it to see, what is really out there and what could be a potential topic for you. So once you have used online tools and then use these two library tools to sort of fine tune your topic idea, at that point you may be more ready to start moving into scholarly research articles. And so we, of course, will do that in the library, but I also want to pop out to Google Scholar first because there are a lot of really interesting tools here that can help you to stay current on a research topic. So we're here in Google Scholar. We can use Google Scholar to get notified of research related to our interests. So as an example, I'm just going to say, well, I'm going to go to our advanced search here on the left. So I'm going to click on the three bars here to go to our advanced search. And let's just say I'm definitely interested in educational technology. And let's say I'm also interested in it as it relates to blended learning. Blended learning. Okay, so I have blended learning on the top line. I needed the quotes to look for that as an exact phrase. I didn't need it on the second line simply because this is their dedicated exact phrase line, which means they're going to pop in the quotes for you. If you're not familiar with this technique of using quotes to look for phrases, I definitely recommend that you go back and view our Searching 101 workshop. And I can show you where to find that at the end of the workshop. So we're going to just look for blended learning and educational technology, and we're going to get our set of results here. We have 83,000. When it comes to Google Scholar, just like regular Google, we do have an overwhelming number of results. What I recommend to you here is not really worrying too much about those results because there's really nothing much that we can do. As I'm looking at my results here, we probably want to take note of some of our highly cited articles. This one has been cited by other researchers over 1,900 times. This indicates that this is an extremely important article within the grand scheme of things, within that scholarly conversation. So we probably want to take note of that. But another thing that you can do on the left-hand side of the screen is narrow by date. So I'll go ahead and say since 2018, since we're right now exploring the topic and we really need to see what recent research has been done. Now, the reason why I'm demonstrating Google Scholar first, again, is because of their sort of ways of keeping current, of easily staying on top of things. So one thing we can do is we can look at, well, first of all, let's start with a alert for this particular search. So if we like this search on blended learning and educational technology, keep in mind, as you progress in your research, you may be getting more and more specific. We're still sort of broad at this point, right? We're exploring this as a topic idea, but if you have refined that topic and you're just trying to stay on top of it, your search might be more specific. But what I'm going to do here is on the left-hand side, I'm going to click Create Alert. You can see at the top of the screen my alert query. That's our search terms that we entered into that advanced search screen in Google Scholar. Here I can say I want top results or all results, and then I'm going to click Create Alert. So that will create an alert for me to get notified anytime any new articles match that search criteria. As you can see here, you can cancel those alerts at any time. So I'm going to go back to our search results screen. You can also see here that you can look again at the citing articles for an article that appears here. So this article even though it was only published in 2019, it's getting a lot of attention as well. So if your topic is blended learning in higher education, you probably want to pay attention to this article because it's getting a lot of traction. This one is as well. And we can scroll down and take a look at some other articles. This one's from 2019. What do we mean by blended learning? That has a lot of citations as well. So if we click on the cited by 255 in this case, it's going to display the 255 citing articles for this original article. This is great because this helps us to move forward in time in the research. So in other words, our original article, I'm going back, was from 2019. That means all of these 255 citing articles are 2019 and more current. So it's a really great way to get the most up-to-date and related research on your topic. You can also create an alert for your citing articles. So this create alert you want to click on once you've already gone into the citing articles. In other words, we've already clicked on the cited by 255 and we're displaying those 255 citing articles. Now we can click on Create Alert. This is going to create an alert to let you know anytime a new researcher has cited that original article. So if you're really taken with this article, it's really important to your research, it's really important to the field, you want to know if a new researcher has cited that, because if a new researcher has cited it, chances are their topic is very much related to your topic, right? So here we can say again, top results or all results. I typically just say all results, and then you can create that alert. So now you can see that I have two alerts here. I have an alert to get new citations for this particular article, and I also have an alert for that search that we did, new results matching these search terms. I'm going to go back to our search results again, or I'll just go back to our 255 citing articles. The last thing that I want to explain about Google Scholar as it relates to staying on top of your research is setting up author alerts. So if a particular author of interest to you has a Google Scholar profile, you will be able to set alerts. You'll know if they have a profile if their name is underlined. So in other words, Bailey has a profile, Lee unfortunately does not. As we scroll down, we can see a number of researchers have profiles, whereas others do not. I'll just stick with Bailey here. I'm going to click on this author's name. You can see sometimes they'll have a photo at the top, the university they're associated with, their main areas of research, and then all of their citations. So any article that they have written, they will have uploaded here into their profile. The really great news about this is that you can see any of their citing articles. So this one was published, I think, pretty recently because it deals with COVID-19. 68 other researchers have cited that. So you can click there to view those 68 other articles. But the really cool thing here is this follow button. So this follow button allows you to sign up to receive an email letting you know if new articles have been published by this author, if there are any new citations to this author, to any of this author's works, or if there's just any new articles in any way related to this author's research. So I will typically click all of those and then click Done. So then you can click List My Alerts. At the bottom, there was a quick little pop-up down here in black. And now I can see that I have those two initial alerts that I set up, along with author alerts for new citations, new related research, and new articles by Daniel Ryan Bailey. Again, cancel any alerts that you are no longer interested in. but I recommend setting up as many alerts as possible. You're not going to get overwhelmed with emails in most cases because, especially for the citations, it's few and far between when someone gets cited. You'll probably be getting the most for the one related to your search terms, but even then, you probably won't get too many results. These alerts in Google Scholar are a fabulous, really great way to stay ahead of the game and get notified of new research related to your topic. Again, do this when you're initially exploring a topic, change and refine once you have focused that topic a little bit further. We can also set up not Google Alerts, we can also set up alerts using our library's Roadrunner search. So once we come to our Roadrunner search, we may have refined our research topic a bit more. So let's go ahead and give that a try. I'm going to go to Advanced Search, and I'll just say that I am interested in educational technology. So I'll type that in. And I'm going to look at that on as it relates to blended learning. And I'm going to look at that in a K through 12 environment. If I wanted to narrow my results to scholarly journal articles, I could do that here. I don't recommend limiting your search results to just full text because you want to find out if the perfect article exists, even if it is not in full text. If it is not available in full text, you'll be able to request that through our free interlibrary loan service. I also don't necessarily recommend putting on a published date simply because a lot of the seminal research, theoretical and conceptual frameworks, that's going to be a lot older. Additionally, older articles are really great way to spring forward in time to find new related research. So I never put a date limiter on, although you may end up doing that as you progress in your research and you've really found all that you needed to find that's older and you want to focus on the newer stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and press search here. Okay, we have our results. We have 2,500 results, which is a bit high, but really we're not here to refine our search. I really just want to show you how to set up an alert here. So here on the right-hand side of the screen, you have a share button above that first search result, and here you can set up an email alert. So if I click email alert here, I can name this alert. So I'll say this is my blended learning articles alert. And I am going to choose my email address, and I can choose once a day, once a week, bi-weekly, or once a month. I usually choose under articles published within the last year, I usually change it to no limit. The reason for that is there may be a seminal article that gets indexed here in the Roadrunner search that is a little bit older, but you still want to find out about. So I usually say no limit. You can change your results format to detailed if you want to see that abstract within the email itself. And then you can click Save Alert. And that is going to create that alert for you to get notified anytime new articles match this search criteria. So overall, setting up database alerts is a really great way to stay up to date on your research topic. I'm going to return to the library's homepage and go back to our Research Help Research Process Guide to, again, go down to that guide on finding similar resources. We had the database alerts and RSS feeds guide there. And so I want to point this out specifically because there are many other databases that offer database alerts. Some of them are to get notified of new articles that match your search criteria. Others might notify you anytime a new issue of a journal comes out, and some of them even provide citation alerts like in Google Scholar. Though I do recommend Google Scholar above any other database in terms of finding citing articles. So I just wanted to point out that instructions for setting up library database alerts in these various other databases are listed here, as well as those instructions for using Google Scholar down here. Speaking of Google Scholar, we also have here under Finding a Research Topic, we have an entire guide called Explore Google. Well, when you link out to it, it says Google's for School. This has all the ins and outs of using Google Scholar, including how to set up alerts. So I just wanted to point this guide out as well. Everything is included here in the research process. If you have trouble navigating or finding any of these guides, please don't hesitate to reach out. So just to recap, we used Google and we also used Google Alerts to sort of explore the open web about what trending topics are happening or trending news, what's going on in our discipline or our profession at this time as it relates to some of our initial interests. You may end up doing several of these searches based on some of your topic ideas. Then we went into Google, well, first we went into Gale Academic One file and the Credo Mind Map tool to use those to sort of explore the terrain in terms of the topics and the terminology, etc. Then we moved into Google Scholar specifically to start setting up alerts to get notified of new articles, based on our search terms as well as based on authors and citing articles. And then finally, we moved into our Roadrunner search to find scholarly literature on our topic and to set up alerts to get notified of new articles. So these techniques are a really great way to start exploring your research topic, and once you have narrowed that down, continue to get notified and stay up to date on that topic. I hope that this workshop has been helpful to all of you, and please don't hesitate to reach out to the library with any questions.